to MJ Unscripted. I am MJ. Thank you so much for being with us today. We are so lucky to have you here. How do you know that you're in the right space? Because you are a person who wants to become a better version of yourself. I have an amazing guest with me today by the name of Algernon Hall. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God.
I'm excited. I'm charged.
You're always charged up.
Always charged.
And I could not wait to get you here. When I told you that I wanted to start a podcast, you were one of the first people that I called.
I remember that call.
And I remember saying, hey, would you mind? You said yes.
Yes.
Yes. You didn't
Straight
even know
up and
what it
down.
was.
Right.
So I'm so blessed to have you here.
I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. Can
Absolutely.
you just tell us a little bit about who is Algernon Hall?
Well,
Like, let's
Algernon
start off
Hall
that way.
is first and foremost a man of God.
Mhm.
I'm a father. I'm a fiance. I'm a motivator.
Okay.
I'm a dreamer.
Mm.
Right. I'm a dreamer. I'm a person that's driven every single day to be the best that I can be.
Okay.
To be 1% better than I was yesterday.
I like that.
Yeah.
So let's start with, you weren't always the motivational speaker.
No.
You may not have even always been a dreamer.
Right.
Initially, right?
Right.
So let's start us back from, where did you begin? Like, where did your journey actually begin?
My journey started off in East Orange.
Okay.
So I moved to East Orange, New Jersey when I was like 2 years old.
Okay.
Went to Kentop, went to
Yes.
Stockton,
Yes.
went to Hart Middle.
Okay.
And it started off, the only dream that I had as a young black man in East Orange was I wanted to go to the NFL.
Okay.
So I was super fast. I was gifted athletically. I always played street football with the bigger kids, and I wanted to be the quarterback at East Orange High.
Okay.
Until my parents came to me after the 7th grade year and said we were moving.
Oh.
And I said, where we going?
Where we going?
We're going to Newark.
Okay.
And I only knew about downtown Newark,
Right.
arcade.
Right.
I'm like, Newark.
Why are we doing that?
So they wanted to pursue the American dream. We were renting that entire time, so they purchased a home.
Okay.
And then I went to Newark. Still was focused on that dream, but I wasn't really engaged the way that I should have been academically. And as I progressed and got to my senior year, a lot of opportunities that I had early on in high school, they were no longer there.
Okay.
Because I didn't have the grades.
All right. So had football stopped at this point?
It didn't stop. I had an opportunity. I went to Alabama State University.
Okay.
But that was my first experience of doubt. So regardless to what I had accomplished in Jersey, being MVP on my team, being all city, being all county, being all state, when I got down on that campus, on the yard, with these country boys from Alabama, from Georgia,
you saw your competition.
Florida. Yeah, and it was like I ain't even give myself a chance.
Okay.
You know,
so mentally you had already shut down.
Yeah, mentally I had kind of I was battling that doubt.
Okay.
And I used that as an excuse.
Okay.
You know, so ended up transferring back up north. Still was trying to pursue that dream. Had a bad injury. I tore my quad. I was training to go to the Canadian Football League. I tore my quad.
Okay.
And I didn't get it repaired.
Okay.
It healed naturally.
Oh wow.
So unfortunately, when I flex my quad and extend my leg, there's a hole there still to this day.
Because you never took care of it.
Yeah, I didn't do it the right way.
Okay.
So I realized early on, I wanted to work. I was working at FedEx.
Okay.
And I remember my grandmother, when I left Alabama State, in tears saying, baby, I need you to finish. And I didn't know. I just knew that college was going to be a better vehicle for my tomorrow.
Okay.
Based on a lot of my friends, a lot of kids that I went to school with, in the street, getting caught up, doing goofy stuff.
Right.
I just knew that. So it took me 10 years to get my undergraduate degree.
Oh, amen though.
10 years. I was determined to finish.
On and off, on and off.
Nah, it was steady, but I was working full time.
Gotcha.
And I was the one that would come to campus, take my classes, and I would go to work.
Okay.
But early on, I got into FedEx as an investigator.
Okay.
After the first year of being on the job, I saw this guy. He was the only man in there wasn't doing no work, it looked like.
Okay, what was he doing?
He was what they call a corporate security officer, a corporate officer for FedEx. I said, well, what do you do? He said,
Right.
I'm a corporate officer. I said, what you have to do to get that position? He said, you got military, law
No.
enforcement,
No.
he's correction. I said,
No.
I'm going to school for criminal justice. He said, there you go. So I had 60 credits at the time.
Okay.
And that's how I got my foot in the door.
Wow.
So at that time, I was the youngest youngest employee involved in corporate security at Newark Airport. So it was a good job. Here I am, 20 something years old, and I'm making $50,000.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a real come up for me.
Okay.
And then I spent a lot of time at FedEx.
So FedEx is job one.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
job one.
Job one. When I just said FedEx is job one, you kind of made a face a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Did,
I feel a certain type of way about FedEx.
okay. But did you feel in that moment like that you were doing what you were called to
Nah,
do? It was just a job.
I didn't know. It was just a job.
Oh, okay.
It's something that and this is one of my talks. I call it, you from East Orange, you could appreciate it. Not OPP, other
Yeah.
people's property, not naughty by nature.
Right.
It's an acronym that I created, OPE.
Okay.
College gave me opportunities, OPE,
Okay.
opportunities, possibilities, and exposure.
Okay.
That's what it did for me.
Okay.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what my education has done for me.
Okay.
And since then, I got my undergraduate and I got an MBA, and it's just opened doors for me.
Okay, so
So
let's
I'm
talk
glad I'm
about
at
the
that.
doors. So we're
Sure.
at FedEx, and clearly one day something says there's more.
Yeah.
Not something, God.
Yeah.
God
for
said
sure.
there's more.
Yeah.
What was the more that he planted?
So when I was in the MBA program, I went to Dowling College, and I initially went into this program with aspirations of being promoted within FedEx.
Okay.
I wanted to go into management.
Okay.
I had always been a leader. I always stood out, was always vocal. I was a quarterback. I was always vocal. I was always a motivator.
Okay.
Always that rah-rah dude. They call
Gotcha.
me crazy horse on a football team.
Okay.
High energy all the time.
Okay.
But when I got into the program, I immediately started to see myself and identify myself as an entrepreneur. I had always been creative. And then my mindset started to shift at that point. And then when I finished the program and I started looking at opportunities or trying to figure out what direction I would go, I initially was being a copycat.
How so?
What I did was I would identify with people that I knew or identify what other people were doing to be successful.
Okay.
And I initially felt like, okay, I'm an entrepreneur. I can go in any lane. I could, but I didn't understand my lane.
Your lane. Okay.
I didn't know, that didn't even come up.
Okay.
So I tried multiple things, had a little success, sputtered, but it wasn't my lane, and I knew it immediately.
Okay.
Because you're not passionate about it.
Yeah.
You're not excited about it.
But that's fair though, because we need to hop into all the lanes because typically we don't just get placed where we're supposed to be. Right. We appreciate where God wants us because we've experienced these other places where it didn't feel like home.
100%.
Okay.
100%. And you feel that.
Yeah.
And I remember, I was married at the time. I remember, being at my church, Living Faith Christian Center, and this Pastor Lamont, late Pastor Lamont McLean, he was what they called a king and a priest.
Okay.
And so he had a non-denominational church that was a mega church in Pennsauken, but he also was a CEO of a technology company. And so he started this ministry called Entrepreneurs for Christ.
Okay.
And I remember being in the first session, and I had been in church, Mount Olive in East Orange with my parents, but I wasn't in church. I was going to church, but I wasn't in church.
Right.
And so he started us really breaking down, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all things will be added to you. And that stuck with me. And at that time, I was really, really thirsty. I wanted to find my lane.
Right.
And I remember, I'm like, I'm going to see if this works. It sound good. Does this work? I remember getting up early. I'm an early riser. I remember going downstairs in the family room, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, just praying, just sitting there, trying to hear from God. And after day 2, God immediately started to speak to me.
What did he say?
He said, Children's Entertainment Company.
Let's go.
And what's crazy about it was God started to show me the gifts that I had already had. That I wasn't class clown in high school, but I was a clown.
Mm-hmm.
I had the ability to manipulate my voice.
Okay.
I was very creative.
Okay.
I loved kids,
Yeah.
but I also had a passion to impact kids on the seed stage, especially understanding what I dealt with coming up in East Orange and Newark
Mm-hmm.
and what the kids were going through now
Mm-hmm.
at that particular time in
Correct.
2008. So I'm sitting there and it came to me. I said, Lord, like what you mean? You want me to be a Elmo or
Right, right.
Cookie Monster or something like that?
Big Bird.
Like I make it plain for
Right,
like
right,
because
right.
I don't understand. You want me to do parties? What does
Right.
that mean? Like no character education because at the time character education was the buzzword.
Correct.
And so character education, create a character, something unique.
Yes.
All right. No lion, no bear, no bear. That's what was flooded on television, the
Mm-hmm.
characters.
Mm-hmm.
Tony the Tiger,
Yes.
all these other
Bad Bar at one point, the
yeah,
elephant. Yeah.
right. Hip Hop Harry was a
Correct.
bear.
Correct.
And they just came koala bear. And so I had this image of a koala bear, and then God started to set the table. And
Mm.
what I mean by that is I'm in the church and I had so many resources. So the
Okay.
first thing I did was I needed somebody to sketch it.
Okay.
There was a guy that I didn't even know in the church named Vince Abanye, Masterpiece Design Group. Gave him my vision. Whenever I talk about Jubilee, whenever I talk about my ministry, my business,
Mm-hmm.
I'm passionate. I'm
Yeah.
excited. You feel the
Yeah. I can
energy.
feel it. Yep.
And he was like, all right, he sketched Jubilee. Didn't charge me. He was so in tune,
Mm.
so excited for me. He was like, I just want to sow this to you.
Mm.
I had to create it, I had to bring it to life.
Mm-hmm.
God said you needed to be durable. So you can get a costume made for 1,500, but I needed to be durable.
Mm-hmm.
I emailed, I mean, not emailed, I Googled costume makers. I came across Yvette Helene in Brooklyn.
Okay.
She created a little bill for Bill Cosby, the
Oh
Rugrats.
wow.
Cost me $800,
To
8,500.
to make the koala.
I had never spent $8,500 in my life.
But look at what's happening.
Took a line of credit out on the house, took a leap of faith,
Yeah.
got this 7 foot koala, took the rendering to Yvette Helene. She created Jubilee.
Right.
Then I also I'm gifted in the arts as well. I was
Okay.
athletic, but I could sing, I could hold a tune, I
Yeah.
could dance, I'm
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a producer in the church. Um, and I had this vision. I had wrote these songs. He put me in the studio. So all Jubilee's voice and as well the songs was me
Mm.
singing on these tracks.
Wow.
Didn't even charge me.
Okay.
And so now I have these pieces, these components. Now it's time for me to go into schools. And God told me, you're going to impact and you're going to perfect this in the church.
Okay.
So Jubilee was initially going into the church, the children's church.
Wow.
And it was just me. It was somebody else.
Yeah.
And I would wear a lapel mic.
Yeah.
And I'm 53 years young.
Uh-huh.
And I'm older and it's in the morning. And I had a long week. I've been talking all week.
Mm-hmm.
But so you hear my voice now?
Yeah.
I had the ability, and I'm gonna see if I could do it. Hi guys, it's Jubilee.
Oh.
I'm hoarse.
Okay.
So all my tracks was in this high pitched voice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I would get into the costume with this lapel mic, show up with a big band speaker, play my tracks, and I
Yeah.
was able to pause it, and I would
Oh,
interact with the
the kids be
kids,
eating this
talk,
up. They eating this
and
up.
that was a unique thing. Most characters don't talk.
And koala bears.
Yeah, so I deviated from that
Yeah.
to make that experience more memorable with the character talking to the child.
Yeah.
Like, Monique, how does he know my name?
Right, right. Why did I just
So,
jump?
and then it hit me. I was like, yo, like, I can record all this and I could put somebody else in the costume.
Yeah.
So then it grew. And I never forget being at, I had a principals meeting in Trenton because I was starting to gain some traction. It went from being in the preschools to being in the elementary school.
Yeah.
And then it started to blossom because as an entrepreneur, as a creator,
Right.
I'm a problem solver.
Yeah.
So I'm able to listen to administrators, to teachers, to directors, see what that pulse is, and create something for them to meet that need.
Yeah.
Which Dreamcatchers was created and evolved, and that programming is for the middle. It's actually from grades 3 all the way
All
up
the way
to
to
12.
I was gonna say through high school.
Yeah, and the Jubilee is for pre-K through 2.
Wow.
So I provide multiple programming for schools. From SEL programming, parent engagements, professional development, as you know,
Yeah.
mentoring programs.
Right.
We do pep rallies.
Right.
The catch line was, "We are the ultimate tool and resource for educators," and that's how we
I'm
got
gonna
here.
pause you for a minute because
Yeah,
I'm looking at your sleeve and I
yeah,
see Jeremiah 29:11 on it.
yeah,
Right. So yeah.
yeah,
Tell me about that.
yeah. So Jeremiah 29:11 is my one of my favorite scriptures
Mm-hmm.
because it reminds me of where I've come from.
Right.
It reminds me of where I currently am.
Right.
When I feel stretched,
Right.
when I feel doubt,
Right.
it's a reminder to me that God has plans for me.
Yeah.
All this was his plan.
He always had the
He
plan.
always had the
He
plan.
just needed you to say yes.
Yeah, need to
Right.
say yes and get in line with his plan.
And to actually like move your feet, right?
Yeah,
Because sometimes he drops the plan
yeah,
and we're like, oh, okay, that's cool,
yeah,
right? And we sit and we're like, well, how and how?
yeah.
And he's like, don't worry about all of that,
Right.
right? So you moved your feet by, I'm gonna just start this at children's church.
Yeah, yeah. Just get out the way.
Yeah.
And then what I can honestly say this, and I fight this daily because, as gifted as we are as people, as children of God,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we get so caught up lifing and we
Yeah.
got all these great ideas,
Right.
but is it from God?
Correct.
And what
Correct.
I know for sure,
Yes.
and the reason why it's grown and it's prospering is because that was from God.
And I believe you,
Yeah,
right? So we got to experience it for the first time, I'm gonna say 3 years ago,
yeah,
maybe,
yeah,
when you came to our school. And I was staring the whole time because 3 years ago was when I first started, let's say, public speaking and
yeah,
things like that. And I'm like, this dude is doing like
yeah,
you found a lane
yeah, yeah.
because it wasn't happening in the schools.
Right.
We weren't getting anything like that. We
Yeah.
weren't having any kind of pet rallies that were going
Yeah.
on. The school put it together.
Yeah.
We weren't having this outside company come
Yeah.
in, cater towards a pre-K through 2,
Yeah.
really reel in my middle schoolers who are typically bored to
Yeah.
be in a
Yeah.
assembly,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, when they hear you're coming, it's like, word.
Rock star. Like,
Yeah, and then we come down and you got the music going,
Yeah.
nuggets already turned
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
and it's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's such a good vibe, and you have created this area where team building
Mm-hmm.
is fun,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
And they know if you're coming that day, I got to do everything I got to do to get down the
Right.
steps.
Right.
They don't want to miss it.
Right. Right.
Wow.
Praise God.
Praise God because you said yes.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you for being obedient
Yeah.
to that
Yeah.
calling.
Absolutely.
How does it feel though? Like you're here now. Like looking back, because I know
Oh,
I know you're
I ain't
reflective.
here.
Where are you?
Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard.
It's
I
more.
haven't seen.
It's more.
It's more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in the way.
Yeah. Okay.
Real talk. Like, that's the struggle.
Wow.
I'm still in the way.
You trying to control a little
I'm
bit?
still in the way. Yeah, like not controlling, but I was talking to an administrator down in Blackwood, New Jersey, and even to some of my assemblies. Still times like we did 324 assemblies last year from
Wow.
September to June.
324.
There's still times when I go into a school, a few times, a lot of times, where I'm nervous.
Well,
They're gonna look at me like I'm crazy.
Well, I like nerves, right? Because
Yeah.
I always tell
It's that
anybody,
doubt, though. You still gotta manage
well,
that doubt.
nerves keep us humble, right? And they
Correct.
allow God to lead.
Right.
So I look for nerves. I was
Yeah.
nervous this morning brushing my teeth. Now I've
Right.
done this a few times
Right.
and I was still nervous. And that excites me though.
Yeah.
Because it lets me know that, okay, the
Right.
decision that
Right.
I'm making is of you.
Right.
And then he's going to make sure that everything is good though.
Right.
So I don't need to worry.
Right.
Right. I think there's a difference between nerves and
Yeah.
being, but see, doubt doesn't have to be negative either.
True that.
Because I'm learning now that doubt creates questions for me.
Right.
When I start to doubt, I can question God. I
Right.
can ask him for more clarity. I don't
Right.
think he's upset about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think true doubt, when it leads to fear,
Mm-hmm.
becomes the problem.
Right.
Because fear is going to stop us.
100%.
Right. So I can doubt a little bit, like, well, God, what about this? And just to dig a little deeper into his word to
Yeah.
get closer to him,
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
100%. I'm just staring at you because this is like, I feel like even just in the 3 years, I've watched something continuously grow.
Yeah.
Like you started where you started, however, you've grown so much and
Yeah.
picking up new schools and
Yeah. And it's crazy because I had a moment on Monday. There's so many folks in this industry as far as being an educational consultant um that are struggling to get contracts, that are struggling, that did what I did, where they're working a job or not working a job and trying to develop traction. But what a lot of people don't understand is, like, I've been doing this since '08.
Wow.
'08.
But off of a leap of faith. You just walked away from a job.
Nah,
You didn't walk away?
nah. It was mutual.
Okay.
100%. I got fired.
Okay. However,
Yeah, I got
leap of
fired.
faith to start this
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, it was a point where the business was already started. Again, I was doing it since '08.
Right.
It was, for a long time, it was a glorified part-time job.
Okay.
And what was happening was, when I got divorced, I had all these responsibilities. And I'm speaking to somebody right now. I had child support, I had private school, I had where I was living at, I had to take care of. Eventually, got into a relationship, got engaged, and I didn't think or believe that I can carry that load with Jubilee Children's Entertainment.
Gotcha.
So for a long time, I stood in that job because it was comfortable.
Gotcha.
It didn't require a lot of me. I had a ton of flexibility. It allowed me to grow my job. And I just got to also speak. It worked out for me, but what I also had conviction about was I wasn't a good steward over what I had.
Okay.
I had the job, but I was leaving early. I took advantage of my flexibility. God had been speaking to me the entire time. And then one day there was a management shift, and I felt they were coming for me. Because I was so passionate about my business.
Yes.
And I was putting so much into my business.
Right.
That things started to fall. My production at work started to suffer.
Okay.
I was an investigator.
Okay.
So I'm in charge of making sure people don't steal.
Yeah.
So your presence, doing interviews, a lot of things that you do, like maintenance and stuff like that, like, I'm about my business.
Okay.
And so I remember going through a walk. Me and my fiance was walking in through the development, and it became frustration because they weren't, when I was focused and locked in, they weren't promoting me. They were hiring external people from outside the company that didn't look like me, that had less education, less experience. I mean, right in my backyard, and I was driving from Morris County to Cherry Hill into Newcastle, Delaware. No traffic, it was 2 hours.
Right.
One way.
Right.
And I just felt like I was taken advantage of, but I also knew that they weren't utilizing my skills.
I don't want to say you got fired. I'm sorry.
I technically did, but I didn't. It was mutual.
I
I
don't
fired them.
I was going to say, I just think God released you so that this can be birthed. Both couldn't exist at the same time.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like something it was either Jubilee was going to suffer or this is going to suffer. And this is where God was placing you. So FedEx had to go. I just don't want to view it like fired is such a negative word. It was kind of like,
But it's real.
It is, but my time was up.
Yeah, 100%. And that's how I see it. That's how I see it. And it's funny because the few people that I shared my hopes and dreams with, they said, bro, I was always saying, looking at Al, like, why is he here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a stepping stone.
Like, why are you here? And it's funny, like, I got this friend, Rob Dunbar. He was like, Al, I knew. And he go on Facebook. He said, look at my brother.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
look at my brother. He said, man, I'm so happy for you.
Of course.
And he said, you just had to believe.
That's it. We was waiting on
I
you.
remember being on the turnpike, driving down there in tears, like crying, like, God, like them rides, like
a lot of think time. Yeah.
No radio.
Right.
Like, because I was on the road at 4:30 in the morning.
Right.
Like crying, like, God, like, I'm struggling with this.
Right.
And then going through that walk, when I mentioned to my fiance, she said, forget that job. Like, I looked at her, and then that was it. And then after I left FedEx, I made them calls. Say, look, I'm full time. This is this. I started getting connected. I started getting into administrative networks. And then I'm grinding. December, this happened September 27, 2022. When I looked up in December, 3 months, I made my salary. I looked, I said, babe,
Yeah.
I made
Yes.
in 3 months what I was making at FedEx.
Off of your business.
Like I was getting 75,000. I was like, yo, that's good for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because I had my
Right,
business going.
right.
It used to glorify, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I'm like, yo, like, God, like, are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yes, he's
I feel like
serious.
God was saying, yeah, you playing, my
Yeah.
dude. Like,
I've been told
you
you.
wilding.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, but like you said, timing.
Right.
Timing.
Yep.
So I don't look at it. It's funny because everything that I incorporate, many of the things that I incorporate now into my business, I learned at FedEx. Like the presentation.
You had to work there.
The presentation,
Yeah.
creating PowerPoints. It gave me a lot of experience talking to people. I had to interview people. I had to talk to upper management.
Yep.
So that allows me to talk to administrators, superintendents.
You had to work there to gain those skills.
Yeah.
So God could move you forward.
Yeah. So I understand that was a part of my process.
Gotcha.
He was refining me.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And if you could give advice to anyone, one piece of advice, just based on your own experience, what would it be?
I would just say dream, believe, make history. And what I mean by that is dream and believe because every day we're writing our world's bestseller.
Okay.
And the making history part is just walk by faith, not by sight.
I like
just
that.
do it. One of my biggest fears, and that what keeps me going, God forbid, if something happens to me and I leave this earth, I don't want to show God, he interviewed me, he got the clipboard.
Yeah.
Bro, you ain't do this.
Right.
You ain't do this.
Right.
You ain't do this. Why? And I don't want to say I ain't believe.
Yeah.
I ain't trust.
Because I gave you all the resources.
Like I want to be empty.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So dream, believe, make history.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. I thank you so much for joining us today. If there's anything that you loved, saw, heard, please do not forget to subscribe, hit like, share it out. I can be found on all podcast platforms, YouTube included. I pray that your day is filled with love, laughter, and learning, and we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.